No, I got to lean in.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. Okay, Chase over there doing his little
What's
twerk, child. You may remind me of the cabin, Jamie. Lean in. Then lean
Boom,
out.
boom, 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 boom.
Right. Happy Wednesday, everybody, again. Chase, Jamie, welcome back to another recap review. Danny was gonna be here today so we can have the Fox for 5 of the 4, but he's not here. He's actually processing them damn what's it called? Bonuses and
Text
stuff.
us.
I wish he processed me, boy.
Hey.
So listen, he's busy, but he's still apart. He'll
Let me
still
get my
probably be
social in there.
right. I was like, he said he got to process 300. I said, can you process 301? Can you give me another one?
Okay.
No.
What's one
Bonuses.
more?
Yeah, hell yeah. Let me text him right now.
Huh?
I said, let me text him right now, real quick.
Yes, yeah. Everybody, y'all gonna text Danny right now, or if y'all got his number, which I probably don't. DM him asking for a bonus. Maybe he'll process one of y'all's too. His money upstairs, child. All right, y'all. Well, listen, in the chat right now, I see we got a lot of people in the chat. I know y'all are really excited for this review. I'm excited to be here. The last time I was told I act like I didn't want to be here, child. So let me act like that. I act like I didn't want to be on my show.
I mean, but you know what? Sometimes it be like that. Shit.
Sometimes.
Cut us some slack, okay?
Right. But we're here. This reunion, I'm not gonna lie to you, very irritating, very frustrating of a reunion. So when I'm irritated by a show, I try not to get too emotional in the sense to where I'm like raging and stuff like that. But I'm not gonna lie to you, it was kind of frustrating to watch, especially knowing what we know that like Garcelle is leaving. I just hate to see individuals go out in a way that they are not able to get their lick back, But we still got 2 parts, so make sure I hit that like button. Make sure y'all subscribe. I see we got Sass K, one of our original moderators. Okay, still up in this thing. Sass K is all booed up and stuff, child.
She's not giving up her time. No, I
She don't have time for us, but she always got time for Beverly Hills. So I appreciate that. And shout out to other moderators too, Art World, Amanda K, who's using the chat too, Demisio, Miss Finesse, Lil Renee, love. Who else in the chat right now? What we got here? Cassie's in here. Yeah, I ain't seen Cassie. Well, I see Cassie on social media. I ain't seen Cassie in here. And she just said, miss being here. We missed you being here too, Cassie. Welcome back. Not season 1 week, Garcelle. I know that's right. All right, y'all. Let's get into a lot to discuss. Keep in mind, I took notes based off of the Peacock version. So I know they give you a little bit more. So if it's something that I'm saying you're not remembering, it's probably because you watched it live and you ain't got Peacock. Or you just didn't watch the Peacock version. I don't know. I ain't throwing no shade, but
I got Peacock. I got Peacock.
Because Peacock
it.
shows the uncensored version of the reunion.
Wow,
so
that's
they
crazy.
give you a little more. So I would advise y'all to watch like reunions on Peacock because they're always better, in my opinion.
Anytime they say uncensored, go to Peacock and watch it because I'm telling you, nothing like hearing Dolores Catania cuss out what's her name? Cuss out, what's the lady name with them lips?
Margaret.
Cuss out Margaret from the bottom of her soul, unfiltered. Oh my God.
Oh, she did. You did. And it's always good seeing the housewives just really be in their element and they just be cursing and F this and
but Jersey is a beast uncensored like that. God, they're aggressive over there. My God.
All right. So listen, we get into the reunion. Looks. Do we have any thoughts about the looks? Versus what we saw. I don't have the pictures, but based off of what we saw in the picture and what we saw on camera, who is our yay and who was our nay? Chase, you got your hand up, so go ahead and go.
If I had to give a yay, I guess I would give it to Garcelle or Erica. However, I'm going to give the reunion as a whole a nay, a 0 out of 10. And I am most especially disappointed with Bo sitting up there looking like a California raisin.
A raisin?
California raisin. Remember them little raisins used to be singing and dancing?
That's
why I don't know that reference. Actually,
I can't laugh to that. I can't laugh. That's
look
not
it up
for me.
And immediately
understand. I can't be giving these folks business.
I can't.
You didn't finally learn something, Jamie? No,
told me too many times to stay on my side of Twitter.
Oh yeah, you better not even. You better not agree.
Jamie, what for you? Who was a yay? Who was a nay?
Garcelle looked absolutely beautiful. I think that like from head to toe, the ornate decolletage of everything. She looked great. The face was beat, the hair was laid. I thought she looked amazing. I would say Erica, very simple, but it worked for her. Because Erica has had some rough reunions, particularly while she was under investigation. So it's good to see her back on top. That soul is still ugly as can be. So all the slick back ponies and the fake eyelashes can't hide that. Dorit looks horrible in 4K. Like,
Oh my God.
my God.
I used to say she looks amazing.
No, ma'am. Not the
No.
cigarettes, Diva.
I want to know what kind of foundation or setting spray they were using, because 15 minutes into that, every time they would close up, it was cracks in the pavement. There were lines all over and that's what happens when you use foundation that's 3 shades too dark for your natural skin tone. She looked a mess halfway through. I can't remark on anybody else. The person I want to say, it's not my business. I'm gonna keep it pushing.
I'm weak at this comment from, I think it's from Miss Finesse, saying that Bose looked like somebody from the Fanta girls.
Do you want a Fanta?
You know
Fanta? Do you
I
want
just
a
can't
Fanta?
unsee it. If they had a root beer Fanta, that would be Bose.
It was very Chiquita Banana. Do you remember Chiquita Banana where she had the hair
I
up her
know.
shoulders?
I just want to know who in 1983 did her makeup.
Oh,
the same person that does her wigs, maybe.
It all makes sense. Looking like Shirley Murdoch on Shirley Murdoch's cover.
All right, so past the looks, quick things that happened before. Sutton comes in bearing gifts to Garcelle.
Excuse me, could you drop me down one moment? I'm sorry.
What happened?
Could you take me down one moment? I apologize.
You're fine. So Sutton basically gives Garcelle a gift. I guess she like, girl, listen, they about to come for me.
I'm about to be mute, bitch.
Right. They about to come for me. I didn't have your back, so let me give you this gift. We see Dorit and Bose having a casual day-to-day conversation or whatnot. And Chase, let me know when you want to come back up too. I don't know. I can't see. So is that come back up? Okay. I don't have production, y'all. This ain't no Chase of TV. It's just me.
Do I have production? Let me hush.
Chase has a whole staff over there.
Kyle seems to be irritated, so she comes in mad and she having conversations with Erica, and I can already sense like, okay, you know what? I feel like Kyle and Erica about to be on some BS. We'll talk about that later. So they all sit on the couch, and Garcelle is already under the impression that her and Kyle may not be on the best terms, but she does try to give her a compliment. Kyle ignores her like crazy. And Garcelle notices, she's like, okay, whatever. So they sit down, and Garcelle makes this comment. I think it's so funny about them taking a cat's photo, but we know that she didn't take the cat's photo. I thought that was so funny to me. But anyway, I guess in this moment, she didn't know she would be where she was when she left the reunion. She didn't think she would be in that space. So anyway, the first segment is about Dorit and PK. They make a big thing about Dorit being a smoker. She said she was a social smoker, but now she is a stress smoker. She said that I used to smell like cigarettes, maybe here and there, but now I smell like it all the time because I'm stressed.
She looked like one too.
Yeah.
That's why that makeup. Oh, she looked like an ashtray.
So then Kyle made a comment and saying like, she didn't think that it will be seen. And then I'm like, girl, you could have filming all these years that this wouldn't be shown. If there's a camera in the car, they're probably going to use it, right? I mean, that's the whole purpose, right? They make a notion about Kyle, Dorit. Well, sorry, Kyle said Dorit trying to keep her job. And, Dorit makes this comment and says, well, people in production, so if you thought that my job was at risk, I feel like you would know. So why would you make that comment? Kyle said, I said what I said. That's what I said. I ain't changing on it. They talk about Dorit communicating to her kids as far as the state of her and PK's relationship. And she says that she sees there's less of a chance they'll get back together. However, she is still in love with him. We find out that PK declined the invite, but he did send a statement. I was not going to write down that whole statement, but what I got from
it, read her down.
He basically said, I am a good damn father. Dorit is lying. And who the hell is this Dorit now versus who she used to be? Like, that's what I got from the statement. So then they kind of go into the whole thing about Dorit being different. And, Kyle kind of coming to PK's defense. I mean, PK's defense by saying that he had never really seen the side of PK that Dorit was speaking on. So at this moment, Kyle is kind of challenging Dorit's experience with her husband versus her experience with PK, and it becomes this thing because she felt like initially that Dorit was weaponizing the whole alcohol thing. So on this show, we talked a lot about how she kept talking, my husband's alcoholic, my husband's alcoholic. I mean, that was the first thing she said to Rose when they sat down was, hey, black girl, my husband's alcoholic. I mean, that was said. So Kyle basically tries to clean it up by saying, well, I just don't like the whole thing about using alcoholism on the show because in the past I did it to my sister and I feel so bad about it now. I did that to my sister, and they got on to me about it. So I don't like people using that as a way to weaponize their husbands or whatever on the show, right? Especially if they didn't come out and say it themselves. So we close out this scene. It becomes a thing of Dorit versus Kyle, where Kyle is talking about how she reached out to Dorit, but Dorit is saying the real issue is that you reached out to PK before you reached out to me when you found out about the divorce. And that's just what it was. She does try to use Garcelle and Son as leverage as to saying that they didn't reach out to Dorit, but then again, I don't know why they would think that Garcelle and Son Dorit. That didn't even make sense, Kyle. But go ahead, Jamie.
So there was a lot of things that right off the bat just pissed me off.
Okay.
Kyle has a lot of Kyle has more nerve than she has neck, and that's a lot of neck. For her to come on and be like, wow, that's crazy. Like, what is Garcelle doing with her life? Like, wow, she wants me to show everything. That's just whatever. Like, I knew they were on some BS because none of the Fox 4, whatever they are, went over to talk with Sutton or Garcelle. That told me right from the jump. They had a little secret meeting. They knew that they were going to be coming. I want to give both the benefit of the doubt. That lady has done nothing but show that she is a lap dog. I actually really, really loved Garcelle's attitude through this whole thing. Just like, girl, Kyle's pissed off. Hey, girl,
Yeah.
how are you, friend? I think Garcelle went into this knowing that they were going to gang up on her. I don't think that she knew to the extent of it. I see a lot of people online saying she couldn't handle the heat, but this is now her 5th reunion, and every damn year they bring some bullshit to her at this reunion. So to say that she couldn't handle the heat, I think is really, really stupid. These ladies have come for her every damn year. And all of the stuff that came at her this year is just regurgitated shit from last year and the year before and the year before. Like, there's nothing new that these ladies are saying. I think Kyle is a bit hypocritical, talking about how, at the beginning of the season, her and Dorit were never close, but now she's close enough to know exactly that her husband's not an alcoholic or this, that, and the third. Kyle saying that they shouldn't talk about people's drinking habits, but all last season and this season cackled about Sutton being a possible alcoholic. So this shit right here just like these clowns are hypocrites, and I take everything that they say with the largest grain of salt. That's going to swell up my ankles and land me in the hospital. I can't stand any of these women, and honestly, after this season, I'm probably not going to be tuning in. It's disgusting to watch them year after year lie and distort the truth and distort what us viewers have seen and insult our intelligence, and for them to right off the bat start lying and revising history. Like, baby, all 3 of these episodes are going to be some shit, and it's frankly, I'm just tired already. Sorry, I went long. Chase.
No, you
didn't go long. You didn't go long. You went just enough. I give it a 0 out of 10. I did find it most interesting that Kyle was writing for her man PK. She also did not answer the question whether or not PK sent her memes about Dorit smoking, because we all know that he did, and she did not want to answer to that. Now, with that being said, people say that Garcelle was in this, hot seat, and I'm just going to be here to say this. That seat was lukewarm at best, and anyone else could have navigated that situation perfectly, because for every question they had for her, There was not only an answer that she could have given them, but there was also two more questions that she could have given them back within the same line of questioning. I think what we're watching now is a person who has resolved she's quitting, and so she gave them the highest rating of the season with all of the controversy surrounding her, and that's how you eat the girls up. You give them a high rating, and then you take it back and you say you'll never get it again, because guarantee most of the fan base is going to leave with her, and they're going to have to do a lot to rectify this situation. This show is the biggest culprit of being undeserving on Bravo, because they do absolutely 1/3 of the work everyone else does, 1/4 of the work every other show does. The Real Housewives of Atlanta is busting their butts this season. Salt Lake City has busted their butts the last 2 years. OC busted their butt last year. Even with a fractured group like we got from Real Housewives of New Jersey, they busted their ass to give us the season last season. And they worked hard for everything, and they get a lot less than Beverly Hills does. The question shouldn't be about Garcelle and what does she bring us. We'll get to it later. The question should be, what do any of you bring? Whatever you're bringing to the table, whether you have nothing going on or whether
Yep.
you collectively have something going on, it's all boring and uninteresting.
And y'all never want to talk about it. If it's
You
not for
never
Garcelle
want
or
to talk about
Sutton,
it.
we wouldn't see it. So what would these seasons look like that y'all are
And
mad about?
Dorit exposed Kyle, and I thought it was delicious. You are friends with executives, right? And Kyle
Mhm.
said yes, and I said,
She
and
did.
there goes our
We've
effing
been saying that for
storyline.
She
years.
did. You know, it's so funny that when she said it,
I love that quote.
I'm like, this is probably why Kyle is still here. Obviously,
Yeah.
she has somebody back there that's like,
And that's why she gets a favorable edit.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's very true. We
Because
learned
she has done nothing favorable. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Nothing.
no, that's it. That's all I got.
They allow her to hide stuff. They allow her to say what she can share, what she's not going to share. And I understand all reality shows do this, but Garcelle said it best. Garcelle?
Yes, sir.
Garcelle said it best. How are we supposed to
Medea, was
know?
that you, Medea?
How are we supposed to know that stuff is going on? And we're just sitting here looking at each other like a bunch of assholes, not talking about it. The fans want us to talk about it. But somehow Garcelle's the bad guy.
The
Somehow
issue that I
she's the bad guy.
have with this, and now before we move on, I know you got a second, Chase, is that I just don't like anyone that I've seen dig into someone else's tea and information, and when it's their turn, they just can't handle it. We're literally seeing a repeat of how they tried to do Denise with the whole lesbianism thing, and Kyle was a part of that. Kyle was a part of that, so it's just like it came back to you. And rather than stand in it and own it in some kind of way, when I'm saying she's a lesbian or whatever it is, she just chooses to play like she can't answer the question. And so that's why, whereas I do understand it can be frustrating if someone is asking you a question and you want to dead it, right? But it's not fair if you haven't been able to dead things that you've been going on about for years and years and years too. That's why I don't think it's fair. So that's why I support Garcelle in that way. Chase, you have anything if I move forward?
Yes, absolutely. First thing first, if Sutton wants to call it, not Sutton, excuse me. Speaking of Sutton, I have denounced myself from Team Slutton. She is no longer Big Sut. That I have trademarked that. It is in the LLC. She doesn't have no rights to it, because what she did was she spoke up all right, but she spoke up for Kyle. She didn't speak up for Garcelle. How incredibly frustrating is that to see someone who you have been a good friend to, who you have stood 10 toes down for, who you are taking the heat for, because make no mistake about it, the plan was to get to Sutton, but the way that they're getting to Sutton is by neutralizing Garcelle first, because they know when Garcelle is in the hot seat, she's not going to stand up for Sutton. Excuse me, Sutton's not going to stand up for her. So when they get ready to flip and reverse those roles onto Sutton, because Garcelle is so pissed, now they've isolated Garcelle from her and the protection that she would have got had she simply did the same thing that she just got done doing for Kyle, speaking on her behalf and speaking up for her in relation to whatever she spoke in regards to with Dorit. So I'm no longer a slut. And if I was Garcelle, she is way better than me. I will call Kyle a lesbian a boot cut wearing, Birkin and carpet munching lesbian every chance I got. You get no grace because you gave none. You did the Denise wrong, and now you want to claim and cry bravo, bravo, effing bravo. Kiss my A.
Okay. We'll move forward, but I agree. You
I
said
wear
what?
bootcut jeans. Do I wear bootcut jeans? Do
You
I
do
like
wear
vagina?
bootcut jeans.
Do I like
You
vagina?
do.
I ask you that. Is it a coincidence?
All
Well,
right,
you
I'm
see,
moving on.
you're
Moving
not
on.
doing it because you're like a lesbian. You're doing it because you love like the 2000s boy
Boots.
You
band
not
thing.
a
That's your
lesbian,
thing.
Jamie? What?
I'm not a
I
lesbian.
thought,
That's
I
news to
thought you
me.
No,
was a
you're not a
lesbian.
lesbian. You're like the 2000s boy band, like, you know, show me
My
the
my
All right,
friend,
reason.
I'm
my
moving
friend
on.
said
I
I
am
do dress
moving.
like a stylish lesbian. Sorry, we're moving on.
Yes, you do. I'm moving on. Um, so quick little thing that happened. They do ask Sutton about her comments on her and her comments about Dorit and PK's money. And she says she worries for all women. I ain't gonna lie, she did eat that up that little bit because she was basically throwing it back into Erica's face about how she don't support
Yeah.
all women on the boat.
Mm.
Of course, Dorit used this moment to say, "Well, you don't care like you don't care about any women and blah blah blah." So Sutton basically they're kind of going back and forth really quickly. As she's trying to say that, well, listen, it doesn't matter. Any women going through a divorce, I don't want them to go with it. I go through what I went through. I want them to be blah blah. That's kind of what she's getting this moment. We do find out that briefly that she, I guess the kids only see PK on Saturdays if he's in town, and she has not spoken to him
Girl.
within the last week or so. Um, there's a quick comment from Sutton where she says that when she gets upset, when she feels sad, she'll look up on that side of the couch and that'll make her happy. I guess she's saying, I don't want the life that they have, be going through what they're going through. At least that's what I got. And then we get into the whole thing about Bose. So this is Bose's introduction. Of course, there's a lot of mention about her being Dorit's mouthpiece in this segment. But we find out that she has watched the show beforehand. She, lost her home, her Malibu home. So she talks about that. She talks about all the fans' reactions to her trying to have a child and the sick thing with Keely, all the red flags. She probably watched the link. She probably talked about love. Love was one of the
Love went
first people
in.
I know. Love did not like Keely. I remember her saying that. So maybe it was love. I don't know. And then she does express that she met with Garcelle before the show to try to get information. And it sounds like from her understanding, Garcelle was like, well, listen, I want you to get to know everybody, before, like, on your own. Personally, I think this is a way to try to cover the way that people have assumed that she's all up in Dorit's ass by saying, well, I gave everybody a chance. And here's Dorit, Yeah, no. Because my thing is, I always question whether or not she watched the show in the past, because I would wonder, being an African American woman, like, how would you feel seeing what the other one went through with this woman that you're now friends with? But whatever. So she revealed she has watched the show. That changed a lot for me. I'll say that. So then after that, I was going to ask y'all a question, and before I'll answer the question, I'll move on though. But do you all think that if Garcelle, I'm sorry, not Garcelle, that if Bose had of maybe befriended someone else in the same way that she has as Dorit, do you think that Garcelle would still have been like as expressive on how she was in her ass? Or do you think it was because it was Dorit?
I think
Well,
that, go ahead.
you go, Chase.
Either one, yeah.
I think it still would have been the same reaction because the sentiment that has been expressed is that you got to know Dorit, but you did not get to know anyone else. And
Yeah.
so not only did you only get to know Dorit, you advocated and championed for her, and you almost called her the word that rhymed with booned. You booned with her. You booned for her. And you didn't give anyone else a fair shake, and you stuck your nose routinely in fights that you were either late to or not there at all for on behalf of Dorit, which makes you look absolutely crazy after you've watched what you've watched.
That Chase, exactly. So my thing is, I went in thinking that Bose hadn't watched the show.
Me too.
So I wanted to give her the benefit of the doubt of like, okay, I don't know everything. Because Chase, you even said, all of us have said on this review, I don't understand how she can watch this show and see what's been going on and not want to come to Garcelle and be like, I understand. I get it. Because this whole season, she was acting like, I don't understand why every bitch at this table has an issue with Dorit except Erica. I don't understand. So to hear her say she's watched the show, I'm like, okay, well, you're lying somewhere. Somewhere along the
Yeah.
line, you're either
You couldn't
lying or
have
you're
watched the
being
show.
willfully obtuse or both.
Oh, oh
And then
God. Not that
willfully
word.
obtuse. Or and
Lord have
then
mercy.
for her to ask Garcelle, and listen, Garcelle was damned if she did, damned if she didn't in this situation.
Absolutely.
She tells Bose the history and the drama between Dorit herself and Sutton. The fans and the women are going to use that against her to say you're poisoning the new girl. You're trying to get an alliance. Which, like, hey, girl, that's what y'all do. Whenever new people come on here, like, so the calls coming from inside the redecorated garage that you call a house. Um, but instead, she chose to say, "No, baby, you've watched this stuff. This is real life now. I want you to build your own relationships and come to your own assumptions and your own conclusions."
Mhm.
Most took that as like, okay, well, bitch, let me just go and befriend this girl. The fact that you've seen what this lady has done and still are like, I don't get it. I don't. Dorit's been
Yeah.
good to me. That
Yeah.
tells me a lot about the type of person that Bose
I
is.
agree. I
Because
agree.
you can't be good to
Dorit
me. You can't be good to me being bad to somebody else. I'm sorry.
and that's
Yeah.
it. And look, I'm not blinded by Garcelle is a fave, whatever. Garcelle's given it back to Dorit just as much, but Garcelle has been reactionary. Baby, you want to talk to me, you want to laugh about my child, you want to throw microaggressions at me, and Garcelle has been very open with Dorit. Baby, it's up. Every time I see you, it's up. I don't want to be your
Uh-oh.
friend. We're not in a good place. Like, Garcelle didn't come on singling Dorit out. It's so crazy to me that Dorit is a fan favorite for this season and the last, when literally nobody could stand her for the last couple of seasons because of how she interacts with people. That tells me everything I need to know about this fan base as well. That all it took was a black woman to have umbrage with Dorit, and now all of a sudden Dorit is the innocent. Dorit is the, oh my God, Garcelle's coming after her, blah, blah, blah. Baby, y'all couldn't stand this chain smoking hooker for 6 seasons, but now all of a sudden she's your favorite. Like, girl, you and her ashy breast can get out of my face. We're not doing this. I've been side eyeing Bose. I don't understand. There's lies on top of lies on top of lies that she told.
I never
Um,
liked her.
you have bit your
Well,
tongue quite a bit.
someone, Durga never. I remember the first live. She said she was like, "I'm not feeling it." So
Yep.
I personally, I don't. It's not that I don't like her. I just feel like she is inauthentic. I don't think. I don't. I'm kind of tired of hearing, how she is self-made, and I love that she been a Netflix and a marketing genius and blah blah blah.
Yep.
But when it comes to this show, on a show full of people that don't do anything for work, that's irrelevant to me. I'm sorry. I'm more so invested what you're bringing to the show, and what we've seen was her kind of just be up under someone who has not been the best to another black woman, and that is why I feel the way I feel for Bose, me personally.
Especially if you're centering and rooting your introduction and your personality in sisterhood and opening the door for other sisters and advocating for sisters, you're not giving that. So that's a lie as well.
Yeah.
There
Especially
are
on a platform again where Garcelle was the first black woman on this full white woman cast, and it's just something about that. I feel like, I don't know, as someone of the same color and race, like, you would look at that and be like, okay, but if you have watched the show, like Jamie said, you're being willfully obtuse, because there's no way you watch the show and then see what, like, the interaction of Dorit basically telling Garcelle that she really didn't understand what she was doing wrong, and she just doesn't know, while and not being able to be educated. I mean, what was it Garcelle that said she wasn't gonna educate her? Like, it was just things
yeah.
like that, all these interactions. You can't tell me she didn't see those interactions and be like, this is what I'm
Yeah.
gonna be friends with. She, it's one thing to just kind of be her friend, but to just be like her bestie,
Yes.
be in that space, that's where I'm like, okay, that you're a little off. I don't know.
And
Whatever.
that's what Garcelle's issue was. Garcelle never did not like her being friends with Dorit. Garcelle
Yeah.
started to have an issue when it was, hey, you are
Yeah.
writing hard for this. You are speaking for her. You're fighting her battles on stuff that you haven't been here for.
Yeah.
You're yelling at us in her home, telling us to leave or come to the park. Like, girl, please go
Yeah.
somewhere. But
Yeah.
it's one of those things. Bose is a incredibly successful woman. Her
Yeah.
resume says it all. But in corporate spaces, for black and brown people, and particularly non-white people, We know what game you have to play in order to achieve the level of success that she has had. And
Yeah,
oftentimes, when minorities achieve that kind of success, it is
yeah.
at the expense of their relationships with other minorities.
Absolutely, and that's what we're
We've
seeing in its
That's true.
finest. Won't he
That's
do
true.
it? That's the biggest giveaway.
that
Won't he do it?
pissed me off so bad.
So
That's
you
true.
have been having conversations rooting for the other sister who you have routinely said that there can be spaces for more than one black woman on this platform, since there are spaces for four white women on this platform. And you know, don't think that, you know, even though you guys are, you know, black, that you have to have the same identity, the same thought
Yeah.
process, which is fine with me. But you're an advocate of having another person in that space, and you're not trying to step across on those toes, and then you go behind somebody's back and you use colloquialisms most specific to the black community, and then this white woman gets up there and says the insider, y'all was talking shit about that lady. And so when you said when all skin folk and kin folk, you knew exactly what she was talking about. And I for further go to say Garcelle is right, because you got up there with all that hair and added a mess just like
Chase.
you looked.
Chase.
I'll move on real quick, and I will say this last thing because we got to finish this piece. But you
Yes.
know, the same comfort that she had when she reached out to Garcelle for any tea should have been the same type of comfort and this level of relation that she could have tried to have with Garcelle, but she didn't choose that. And
Yeah.
that's what sits with me. Like knowing that she spit out so willingly, you know, I reached out to Garcelle, I reached to my black sister, but on the show, you didn't even seem to really even want to interact with her at all. At
Like
all.
all
Like,
the interactions they had was like they were polite. I feel bad for Garcelle because you can tell she was expecting this from them white women. When Bose later on in the reunion starts going after, telling it's disgusting of what you did, there are repercussions. Garcelle's sitting there like, what? You and I have never had an issue. We
yeah.
were good up until today, I thought. And then I
Yeah.
mean, a lot of people have clocked it in that after show. Has been sitting there
I see some comments, but
cackling boots.
well, listen. Hopefully, I mean, they said some of her damn coworkers are calling to other shows, child. Well, listen, call
Ooh.
in over here, child. I don't know. That's what anyway.
Because I'm definitely
All right,
gonna listen.
I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna put a Leslie on the screen, but I'm gonna listen.
But tell us
All right.
more.
So finish out the Bose segment. It becomes a thing of Garcelle and Sud's relationship versus Bose and Doris' relationship. I guess they expect Garcelle to have the same type of understanding because she felt like they used to go through the same thing. Garcelle is like, no, this is different. Because it just is, right? So then it becomes a thing where she talks about how if you think that I was being manipulated, you don't think much of me. It becomes a thing of Bowles and Kaya. And I think somebody said that this was not in the live show. This was in Peacock. This segment was. I could be wrong, but let me know. But basically, this is where Bowles had said that Kyle was being cold. And it becomes a thing where Bose is saying that Kyle did not come to her room in Malibu. And Kyle is saying she went to her room and spoke to production, whoever it was, to get into her room. But for some reason, Bose says she don't remember it. Bose also downplays the scene that we saw when Kyle came to her room after the surgery by saying, "Oh, girl, I was on medication. I don't remember that shit." I was like, "Oh my god." And then, you know, from that moment, it just becomes a thing where Bose just says the conversations were not memorable. And Kyle is like, well, excuse me? And then Bose is like, they're not memorable. And then Kyle was like, oh, okay. My bad, Oceanside. My bad, Sasuke. Not Malibu Gear. My bad.
Oh Lord.
And
Come on, production, you
so,
better fact check.
yeah, okay. Saz, you want to come up here? Okay, you trying to address me? But any thoughts on this piece right here?
Excuse me.
Any thoughts on this piece between Kyle and Bose?
Yeah. First of all, Bose.
Briefly though.
Yeah, but just saying. For first of all, Bose. I'm sorry.
Yeah. we spent a lot of time in the last second.
First of all, Bose.
You're so aggravating.
No, but honestly, first of all, Bose, for you to sit up there and say that you did make an effort to get to know all the ladies, and then Kyle says we had these wonderful one-on-one talks where I poured my heart out to you off camera, and you say, "Dude, they just weren't that memorable." You're a liar.
But also, I'll allow it because it's
It was
Kyle.
great to watch, and not only did she say that to her and it was a lie, like she exposed herself for being a liar and getting to know anybody other than Dorit and then Erica later on in the show because that's the new group. Kyle also let her do it, which I thought was interesting and goes back to show, Kyle is generally afraid to confront Black people. So that was a thing too. But I was really, and not only is she afraid to confront Black people, the reason why she's not afraid to confront Garcelle is because she has the numbers, and the numbers game wouldn't have worked out in her favor because Dorit was going to swoop down on her ass for Bose. It was not going to work for her. So she let it go. But I was really surprised that I'm so hurt. Like she was doing to Garcelle. I'm hurt, Garcelle. I'm just so hurt. I'm so hurt by everybody. And she wasn't hurt by that. And that was really the nastiest thing I think that has been said to Kyle this whole reunion so far was, dude, you were pouring your heart out. It wasn't that memorable, even though I said that I made memorable moments with everyone and I'm not up Dorit's ass. So all of it just was interesting to watch.
No, I have nothing else to add because it's a Kyle segment. I really don't care about that lady.
So I could have went on.
She got eaten up on live TV, and that made my heart so happy.
Did it?
Oh, I had my feet in the air. I said,
look at my face, Jamie. Look. Did it?
Did it?
Okay. So then we get to this segment of Garcelle. And they show a lot that happened between Garcelle. And Erica comes forth by saying that she just basically thinks that Garcelle and Son should open more. Garcelle is like, well, I mean, what do you want me to give? There's nothing really going on. And then Erica's damn near saying, that's my point. Like, you ain't got nothing to give. Your life is boring. That's so then Erica makes a comment like, who are you dating and stuff like that. I'm like, Erica, who are you dating? Every reunion, I remember last year being very irritated with Erica because she always has these little sound bites and they always seem to capture them where she's making all these comments on everything. It's been that way since I feel like the last 2 or 3 seasons. She wasn't doing that when she was like under fire for all those damn the investigation stuff, right? But for the last 2, I think maybe 2 or 3 years, she's been doing that. She did it tonight. So then she says, I wish you were more interesting, Garcelle. Garcelle doesn't like that.
Baby.
I was like, honestly, I wish Garcelle would have just flipped her top right there because I know, whatever, blah, blah, but there are just moments where I think it causes people to be like, don't try me like that. And this was one because clearly Erica was poking at Garcelle as if she was Andy or she was
killing her beat.
And she's so condescending with it. Like, oh girl, I want to know who you have in sex with.
But see, that is the exact attitude that started this season where I said it always feels like Garcelle does not it's like it's her first season because I remember and I was talking about Erica when I said there's a very first episode of this season when Erica and Garcelle saw each other. It was like, oh my God, good to see you. It seems so condescending. And I didn't like it then, and it's just happening now. Especially for someone who called their whole to their damn child, like you should be praising this damn Black lady because you've effed up real bad before. Let's be clear, Miss Mids and alcohol. But anyway, so Kyle jumps on the bandwagon, of course, because she sees that somebody that's coming for Garcelle. So she jumps on the bandwagon and does the same. And that's when I say, you know what? Kyle and Erica definitely got together and they definitely planned this whole thing on Garcelle. Kyle wanted to come in and switch the entire narrative that happened between her and Dorit, because that was supposed to be the focal point of the season. But now it's like the last 3 episodes, maybe 2, is turned into everybody versus Garcelle. And that's what lets me know that, definitely Kyle and Erica got together, try to come at her with the BS. So then Garcelle speaks up and she's just like, listen, we want to hear about Morgan. You brought Morgan on the show last year. And then she was like, well, she didn't sign up to be on the show. And she was like, she didn't sign up to be on the show this season. She was here last year. So what's the issue? We seeing stuff in blogs. We should be able to talk about this stuff, right? Kyle tries to throw a little nugget in there by saying, your son, and kudos to your son for not wanting to be on the show. I'm like, he has a damn right. First of all, he's a child. Second of all, the way
Okay.
y'all did him, y'all, I wouldn't want to be on the show either. Just saying. I thought that was kind of like low, honestly. Kyle be looking for anything when she's stuttering in a hole, and she just
And doing this.
She just be looking like so desperate to get something, and then she be looking just dumber. Anyway, so then they talk about how, I guess Kyle came to Garcelle and Sutton with some off-camera stuff. And
It's always off camera with
off
that
camera.
lady.
And Kyle throws it in Garcelle's face that she has been open. Despite not wanting to talk about Morgan, she's saying, well, I'm not talking about Morgan, but I came to you and told I'm sharing stuff to you, Garcelle. And so Garcelle is like, and I haven't told a single person what you told me, And so I guess the information is that the stuff with Morgan. I think she's told them stuff about Morgan, or at least not wanting to talk about Morgan. And I believe that's what it seemed like to me. I could be wrong, but that's what I got from it. So then, she asked Sutton, Garcelle asked Sutton, okay, and what did you say once she came to what she told us? And Sutton speaks, and then Garcelle's like, no, that's not what you said. That's not what you said.
Sutton
Once
said, she wants to protect Morgan.
No. Looking like that little meme and that little fox sitting there looking like,
I hate you so bad.
Like, looking like
did it give anybody else flashbacks of that's not what you said last night? That's not what you said last night.
They gave me the other video when she was like Miss Jackson. She was like, Miss Jackson. Miss Jackson. Because Sutton just act like she couldn't think of nothing. But Garcelle said that's not what you said. She says what it said, and then Kyle is like, oh my God, that's so disappointing. Why would you say that? Blah, 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 blah. I thought you were my friend, and blah, blah, blah. So then they talk about the lesbian comment, and I thought the lesbian comment was okay. It didn't seem like much of an issue in the past, but apparently Kyle says that it hurt her feelings, and she is now a victim. I'm like, what? It just didn't make sense. Kyle bringing up the fact that, Garcelle coming for her in that way, and Erica makes a comment and was like, so do you think, Sutton has to have your back for everything, Garcelle? I'm like, girl, shut the fuck up. Like, please shut up.
The way Lisa Rinna had her back.
Huh?
So especially the way Lisa Rinna had her back during her book.
Exactly. And to close this out, Kyle talks about, she tries to use, I guess, when everybody was silent for Sutton on the boat as leverage, and saying that everybody was silent. And if Sutton has that much care for me over everyone else, then that's not my problem. I'm sorry. That's what it is. Chase.
Sutton, you big idiot. You limp noodle
dummy.
You lit liquor.
SpongeBob built ass.
Jesus.
I'm so sick of her. Just like she came out of the pool for being in the pool for 3 and 4 hours. Ass. This lady is telling you, open your ears.
I wish I had handled it better.
That's the definition. That's the definition. Spaghetti legs is the definition of a limp noodle.
Damn crab legs. I'm so sick of them now.
Spaghetti legs, going like this and like that. Yes, so that spaghetti leg looking fool. Listen up. Kyle is telling you. She's shown you. She's beating you up. She told you didn't have a miscarriage. She's called you an alcoholic. She's telling you in this moment she did not care about you. And you're still sticking that neck out there to get chopped. It is the wildest thing. And I understand why Garcelle is uberly frustrated watching it, because I'm giving you... Sutton is doing what Reba... Sutton is doing to Garcelle what Reba does to her. And that's fucked up. Okay, excuse my language. It's messed up. And yeah, so that's what I have for that. Anything else? Kyle is full of shit. It just is what it is. Kyle is full of it. Erica, how dare you? And your clip-on ponytail, how dare you?
That she got from the mall
Kyle,
kiosk.
oh my God, that she got from an infomercial. Like, get out of here with your TikTok ponytail. Like, I
Not the TikTok ponytail.
I am
Not
so
that little, it got a little
commending,
drawstring in it, maybe.
and I commend Garcelle because I used to say on this platform all the time, snap out on her. You be too much of this and not too much of this. You're doing all that. But at this point, I'm the kind of girl that you're gonna get one or two reactions. You're gonna get absolutely nothing because I already know I quit and I'm leaving this place for the worse and my life for the better. Or you're gonna get cussed out and everything gonna get burnt down to the ground because I quit. And I know I'm leaving for better by leaving you guys for worse. And so she opted to just let it roll and be done with it because at the end of the day, Beverly Hills, whether you like to admit it or not, and I know a lot of the people who are watching it that are not in our insular network who watch it, who hate watch because they hate Garcelle, don't think that, but this show needs Garcelle, which is
Yep.
why at the end of Watch What Happens Live, and which is why when Bose gave that BS announcement, they all said, "We wish you could have stuck it out." Oh, I bet you do because she's 1/4 of those ratings that you guys are getting. I know you wish she would have stuck it out because you now absolutely have nothing to talk about. And Bose, you're next because guess what? At the end of the day, no matter how much rouge you put on, no matter how much booty licking you do, no matter how many cigarettes you light for Dorit, no matter how many times you carry Dorit bag into the room, no matter how much you open the door for her, no matter how much you drive Miss Daisy around Beverly Hills, you still black at the end of the day, and it don't matter.
Let me check my notes to see if there was anything left uncovered. My God. I will say, Chase, you have been saying a lot of what you're saying regarding the dynamic between Garcelle and Sutton and Garcelle and the rest of these women for a while. Like, you and I have been like, we've loved Sutton and all of the crazy, like, little quirks that she has, but it has been very apparent. And everybody that sits on this panel has said that the only downside with Sutton is she does not ride for Garcelle the way that Garcelle rides for her. And Garcelle has gotten a lot of flack about that, calling Sutton's mouthpiece, but it's, as we pointed out, there are times that Garcelle doesn't speak up for Sutton. And
Mhm.
Garcelle pointed it out when Kyle was like, you sat there silent whenever blah, 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 blah. We attacked her. And I was like, girl, I need you to listen to yourself when you attacked her.
I
I
mean,
need you
like,
to
what are we
I
doing?
need you to hear what you're saying, but
What are
okay.
we
And
saying?
Garcelle nailed it on the head. She was like, because every time I do that, y'all tell me that I'm her mouthpiece. Y'all tell me that I'm fighting her battles. I can't win. These women push past that, and the viewers push past that. And I will say it is disheartening to see so many non-white housewife viewers jumping on the "We Hate Garcelle" train. There's one particular girl with big old buck teeth on Twitter who takes every opportunity she can. You know who I'm talking about.
Oh my
You know who I'm
God.
talking about. Every opportunity she can to bash
That's
this
not
woman.
my
And the day that Garcelle made the announcement, she's like, I'll give Tans when Tans is due. She's a legend. And blah, blah, blah. Like, I swear to God, girl, I will come through and rip those chiclets out your mouth. Because for
Oh,
5 years,
Dr.
you've taken
Simone
every
definitely tried it. That's what she
opportunity.
said.
It's
Jamie,
frustrating.
please. Who is it?
And
No,
I
no,
understand.
we'll talk
No,
about
we're
it.
not gonna give her
I'll
no
send you.
promo. We're not giving
I'll,
her no promo.
we're
We'll
not
talk
giving
about,
her and them team promo.
come to me off
What I
camera.
did
But we will
do is I sent her a
live.
link for Invisalign. Is what I did do because it worked wonders for me. Um,
Oh.
but the thing is, I understand that this is just a show. We all have our favorites. What Beverly Hills gets so wrong is the fact that, like Chase said, these women don't do a lot of anything. But the Fox Force 4, 5, whatever number that they're at now, have done an incredible job of knowing that they have nothing going on outside of this show. And those women are so desperate to stay on this show that they back each other up and ignore all the shit that they do to each other in order to get out the people that actually call them out on their stuff. Garcelle has done that. And we could see that Garcelle just was essentially like, girl, I'm not going to be here. I don't care about what you've got going on.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care enough to defend what we've got going on. Kyle, it's so desperate talking about like somebody should have backed me up. Erica saying that I need you to be more interesting when Erica literally in the 8 seasons she's been on has not had a single storyline
Not
that
one.
and I will challenge any viewer that is in this chat right now. Please tell me a storyline that Erica had that does not center around her fraud. Tell me that.
Pantygate.
That wasn't her storyline. That was Dorit saying we saw all her hoo-ha.
And that
Like,
wasn't even
had
the
it-
storyline. That was PK.
It was
PK
PK. Like, these women have it. So for Erica to say like, oh my God, like I wish you were more
But
interesting.
that's what
Erica,
I'm saying. The issue with that, Jamie, is Andy and them giving her that moment to do that. Like
And to
Erica
think-
needs to be shut down in a way so she can realize that you are not the hot shit. You know,
you're not.
There's so
You
much.
don't, and she's mad. Y'all kicking me at my lowest with what I'm going through, baby. If it was up to you and your little old
She always at
sassy
her
face
lowest,
friends,
When are you gonna be up?
Like
when
she
you gonna
always
be
at her
up?
lowest.
Get your money up, ho. Like, had it been to your friends, you wouldn't even had a storyline these last 3 years. You were on the chopping block. Sutton and Garcelle is the one that made you famous. Girl, people did not know who you were outside of sissies listening to goddamn It's Expensive to Be Me. You were not a fan favorite. The girls
Okay.
weren't seeing it for you.
I'm not one of those
Wait a
sissies
minute.
because I didn't listen to Expensive to Be Me. But if you would have said Pat the Puss, I would have said, wait a minute, bitch.
Like,
But I did listen to
I
Pat the
really
Puss.
dislike this. Like, y'all have made it cool to discount the 4 decades accomplishment of a black woman immigrant who has come to this country and made a name for herself. Like, we're not doing this, baby.
Yeah.
Like, we're not doing this. Y'all praise Lisa Rinna, whose only claim to fame was a show in the 90s and did really nothing but guest spots. Meanwhile, Garcelle has production companies. She is doing things. I compare her to Candy. Like, she was well known in the black community, came on Real Housewives, used this platform to up her money, up her businesses, up it, and dipped when she needed to. Because the only downside is Garcelle had to get stuck with a bunch of white women who can't stand to see a woman of color outplay them at the game that they have made money on. And that's what the tea is. That's why they do not like her. So, like, I'm not watching the show next season because there's
I'm not
nothing
either.
to watch. There's nothing to watch.
Especially if Bose is recast, because you know somebody said Bose is a
She don't
token.
even have a job anymore.
But you know, people say Bose is a token, and I just want Bose to remember that you know, tokens get spent. So just remember that.
That is true.
At Chuck E. Cheese tokens.
Yeah.
You and Eric and Dorit hanging out at the Chuck E.
I used to work at
Cheese.
Chuck E. Cheese. Did y'all know that?
Jay, you smell like feet in there. All right, hold on, let me move on.
Smell like money in there. I used to do the birthday parties, right?
She said, "I'm gonna have money in there."
No, I'm telling you, I used to do the birthday parties. And so we would do, it was like an hour and 20 minutes for the birthday party. And after that, they'd be like, you did such a great job, and walk me over to the ATM. And I'm in the 12th grade, and they would give me $80 to $100 cash. And I did like 5 parties. And I would walk out there with like $400 and $500.
Y'all better go see Chase for all your birthday party needs.
Your birthday star here on the lean. All
right, let me get back to it. All right. This
Chase
part
gonna do
was
cameo birthday shout outs now.
All right, so this next segment was another one that kind of irritated me a lot. Actually, it did. They talk more about how, you know, so Dorit speaks on how she gravitated to Bose. She says that she was so real. She was so real, right?
Ooh.
Right. And so then it goes to
Bose's face. She said, "Oh,
yeah,
girl."
it goes to
if you don't calm down, Louis Armstrong.
hello, can I continue?
No, not one looking like that.
So this is where Garcelle is. They talk about Garcelle talking about the robbery being set up, and Dorit gets all upset. She goes and she goes in her slave master voice challenge. She's just, why? Just saying. That's what it sounded like to me when she was talking to her. I didn't like the tone. I didn't like the tone. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say. And so Andy kind of backs her up by saying that maybe it was the phone situation. You know how you said that they left the phone for you, right? And Garcelle clears up that she did not say that Dorit was a part of it. Dorit tries to make it seem like that it was, her saying that she set up the whole thing, and she's saying, it wasn't her. Maybe alluding to it was PK or someone else. And so Garcelle basically says that she's done talking about it. They show the footage, and it does prove that Garcelle did not say that Dorit had anything to do with it. She alluded to it. Bo speaks up, and she's just like, I just think it's not something you should say. I don't know why she even talking. Eric. So once Garcelle says she's done talking about it, Erica says, "Andy, make her talk." I'm like, she didn't say make her talk, by
That
the way.
had me cackling.
But
Her and Erica said,
But that's
"Please."
literally what they were just like, Andy, like, why she ain't talking? Make her talk. And I'm just like, girl.
And she better not.
And she better not. Like, she has the right to stop. You didn't talk about them damn earrings until barely even. I'm just saying. You ain't talk about that. Let's talk about that. Anyway, so to finish this part out.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, Garcelle says, was I the only person that felt this way? And this is where Dorit, I guess she practiced this little line where she said,
She practiced that read.
Garcelle and four other people on Twitter thought that the robbery set up from her. So I didn't like this scene again. I like the way that Garcelle navigated through this scene, because I just couldn't be on that couch without just going the F out, because it's like, one, you're trying to, and you can tell she was getting frustrated because she literally got really loud and expressive when she was saying, I did not say anything about you. I was very clear on what I said. Now she says, listen, I can have an opinion. And I've seen stuff on Twitter where people are kind of saying that, Garcelle is wrong for making
everybody.
But let me just say this. I must be a part of that forum on Twitter because I said it, okay? And I said
this show.
I said it on this show.
Saying it on this
show.
I
said today, I think it was set up too, and I think Dorit was a part of it, allegedly. Now,
take it a step further.
Yeah, allegedly.
I think she helped them steal the shit herself.
Don't go in the closet. There's jewelry in there. Please
don't go in my purse.
Please, you know what? Please leave me my phone, baby.
Whatever you do, please. Could you please, if you rob me, call the police for me, please?
The thing that frustrates me, and I give it to Garcelle, Dorit had a whole plan. She wanted to just get Garcelle and yell at Garcelle. And when Garcelle said she was done talking about it, that screwed with Dorit. She had a whole other 15-minute monologue plan.
Like Dorit was like, what am I gonna do now? Oh my gosh, she won't talk. Like it was.
And Garcelle was just, I'm wrong. You're right. I'm wrong. I'm wrong.
Okay.
I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm wrong. That was beautiful to me. And Dorit just said, the show must go on. Dare you? I'm like, oh God, okay. Here we go. This is how I know Dorit lives in her own world. Because maybe it wasn't just Twitter that did not believe your robbery. Your friends did not believe your robbery. Anybody else that came onto the clubhouse did not believe your robbery. The people at Ross, where you got robbed a week later of $10,000, did not believe either of the robberies. Dorit is if it happened, she is the most unlucky person in the entire world. But it did not happen. At least not the way that Dorit experienced it. The fact that she is so stuck in her own world and is so hell-bent on making herself the victim, I would have questioned the people in my circle. I was on Dorit's side. Dorit never said it was PK. Dorit has people on that team. Dorit has people in and out. We all said allegedly it was PK because it's very public knowledge of the money troubles.
I ain't say shit.
You a lie, Chase. Roll the tape.
Oh, I don't believe Chase can say nothing.
I don't believe Chase for a minute.
I ain't never seen
everybody
Chase
knows they've had money problems. We've seen videos of Dorit getting chased around the pool on vacation from somebody trying to subpoena her from a lawsuit that they had 20 million against her. This lady's been sued more times than Erica. Like, my God, like at this point, Bravo just needs to employ ex-felons and ex-convicts and frauds because that's all that's left on this show. I will give it to Garcelle. I would have up and left because you're not going to get me out of character on a platform that isn't paying my bills. This platform paid for a second home and a remodel, and this is giving me a little bit extra, but trust and believe, I do not need this check, and you will not have me put in jeopardy my other real livelihood because people see me acting nasty with y'all. Y'all don't have jobs. Erica, you got a spinoff that 10 people watched, and it was a 6 episode order, and it got shrunk down to 2. So good job to you. The tickets in Las Vegas didn't sell, as Sutton pointed out. I think she bought some tickets to because she felt bad. So Erica pocketed that $10. These women have nothing else going on, and that's really why they're mad. So
Yeah.
I would have been Garcelle. I think Garcelle planned it perfect. They wanted a reaction. That lady shut it down. Good for her.
She did.
And bravo to Andy for being like, no, baby, she's talking about they left the phone. Like that was fake. And even Andy
And
said
I'm
that
glad
was
he
fake.
did that because he's about to piss me off at 1.2. I ain't gonna lie. He was about
I
to piss me off.
I think that was him making up for because he knew we was gonna tear his ass up like we did that time they threw his when they threw Garcelle a book in the trash and we tore his ass up for 2 weeks straight. We tore his ass up and he didn't want no more of that. Because you hit me, you ain't got to hit me but once, Ike. Okay, you ain't got to hit me but once, Ike. I get it. I just want to further say, as you were going in on Dorit, you know, nobody wants her. She's yesterday's news. She can't even go eat at the room that she decorated for Becca Booper the Becco.
Becca the
People don't
Beeps.
some people don't want her in
Not loosey goosey, child.
Lucy Goosey apple juice for biting her children. They say your swimsuit smell like fish, girl. Like Dorit got
No one
some
bought
nerve.
those wedding dresses. My
Okay,
God.
you cigarette breath, leather handbag looking heifer. First of all, let's just break this down because at the beginning of the reunion, I remember you were said Cortez that the girl said that her husband was not a good father. Did she not say that?
She did.
She
Let's
did
go
say
ahead
that.
down that line. He's not a good father. He won't tell her whether or not he drinking or not, even though she alluded to. I won't say if he's drinking or not. Like that. What is it? Alyssa Edwards doing that? Like glitching all up and through the reunion, trying to make fake sympathy so we can feel bad for her, so she can eke out yet another season. Because the only person she's able to swindle successfully is the producers at Bravo who keep renewing her contract. We're sick of it. Okay. So what I will say is this: you cannot go and run him down at the beginning of the reunion. He's a bad father. He's drinking again. You will no longer have a relationship with him, but you guess that you're still in love with the man who may or may not see your children on Saturdays. But then you want to say, well, what kind of a man is a socio? You think he's a sociopath and think that he's the type of person that would set him up? According to the things that you told us, bitch, absolutely, I do.
Yeah,
because you described him
She
to
don't
be
know.
nothing but a foul mouth,
Nefarious.
box, nefarious, brown liquor
Drunk.
drinking, children
Not too much.
neglecting. What?
Brown liquor is delicious.
I'm listening. I'm listening. I'm following them. I'm on the road.
Never mind. But you described him to be everything that aligns with a man that would set his own woman up to get them out of debt. Sometimes you got to shut up and play the role, Helfer, whether you knew it or not. I would have said, well, did we get the check? Did the check clear? PTSD gone because now we out of debt. Okay. Did we get the check? Now the only reason why we acting like, how dare you do this to me and my children, is that check didn't clear, which means that we weren't paying on the insurance. And you set up this robbery, we weren't paying on no insurance. You got life messed up. It's a divorce. Kudos to Garcelle for doing, like I said earlier, giving them absolutely nothing and leaving them the worse for it. I wouldn't have been able to do it. I would have morphed into Nene Leaks and sat on the edge of that couch and cussed everybody out, cut everybody up, and let them have it. And I would have looked at Sutton sitting right next to her. If you don't say nothing, you next, because I know all about his buried, bitch.
Okay.
And she already threw under the bus once, and that was her warning, and she has not taken heed to that. That's your warning, girlfriend. Now I already told these people that you set up there and said that certain that Kyle was playing chess. And Dorit, let me tell you how you know it's the truth about a person when a girl who do not like you sitting across from the other side of the couch say, yeah, that's true. She do be doing that shit because she did it to Dorit last season with that text message 5 minutes before they walked on the reunion. Hey, I know you know by now I don't like you and we're not friends or nothing like that, but don't go out there to tell the people I said that. Yeah.
I bet you did
all the time. Yeah. So as far as I'm concerned, thank you, Andy, for stepping in and doing what Sutton couldn't do. And thank you, Garcelle, for standing 10 toes down on it. It was very hard to watch you endure that, but you successfully cut that woman off at the knees and had her begging you please for 5 more minutes so she can go ahead and secure another season, and we're not going for it.
Yeah.
Kudos.
I'm gonna close this out on this last little piece, but I want to say this too. Somebody please need to give Erica some discipline. Erica is going untouched.
I'm sick of her.
She needs to be.
I'm
She needs to get
honestly
touched.
really sick of her. I'm
She
really
need to
sick
get
of her.
touched.
Like everybody knows me, right? But Erica needs some serious discipline in some kind of way because she is the one that just acts like her shit don't stink. She sits at these reunions. She is very, mind you. Here's the thing. She's talking about people not being interesting, people not having anything going in their life. I bet you the one segment they give Erica this whole reunion is going to be about this house. There's going to be nothing else. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. The one segment is going to be this last little 1 minute mention where we find out about Tom, you know, in the finale that they show. That's going to be literally what they show of her, which basically proves that she has nothing going on. So while she's sitting over here trying to comfort other people on the couch saying they don't, she has nothing going on. But it needs to be Erica. Erica needs some serious discipline.
She needs some discipline. You thought life would have humbled her
when
if what Jamie says is true and allegedly only 10 people watched her 2 episode spinoff, she couldn't sell 7 tickets between them 2 episodes to that empty ass Vegas residency. Life has humbled her enough, yet she still goes around popping her shit like her coochie don't stink. I'm sick of her.
My God.
I agree. All right, so to close this out, we get our comment. I'm gonna go ahead and put the link in the chat. But as they take a break, you know, Sutton says for the millionth time that, oh my God, everybody hates me. Guess what, Sutton?
Yes, we do.
Yes.
I will say, look, so we can make sure that we are, you know, giving flowers where they're due. Sutton gets a daisy for the only time she defended Garcelle when Erica said, "I want you to be a little more interesting." Sutton said, "That's mean."
She made a face. And then she went backstage
she went backstage and said, "Oh my God."
Breaking it down. And as in the middle of this breakdown, she is actively making Garcelle's moment about her. So she's a loser.
Yeah. Oh my God, I can't believe they beat us up like that.
So the audacity of her to go to Erica's trailer, Garcelle's trailer, in her hair and makeup, and is slightly upset because she feels like she was thrown under the bus.
She said, "Oh my God, everybody hates me."
Yes, we do.
I was Garcelle, I would have cussed Sutton the F out, right?
Did you see how Garcelle looked at her?
She said,
but no. Here's the thing, because Garcelle apologized. Said, "I'm sorry." I would have said, "Are you kidding me?" I would have went off. Because the audacity of you coming over here to say I threw you under the bus for something that you know you said, and it's a fool. But like we said, Garcelle knows that she's over, right? Garcelle she goes off. Now I wish she would have did this on the stage because she knows the camera's in here, so it ain't like she did it behind camera. I wish she did it on the stage. So she's basically upset.
We got number 2. She could come back next episode and do that. I don't think she will.
No, it's not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen.
She's just not that type of girl.
She's more upset about the Erica comment than she has nothing interesting going on. She says, fuck Erica, fuck Erica a million times. She's like, it's not my fault that I don't have a crime investigation going on, a silver spoon, and I don't have some rich husband. And Sutton says, well, she doesn't have a rich husband either. I'm like, okay, now she don't have her back now.
I don't need the help.
I would have said,
I don't need the help.
I don't need the help.
And that's how the episode ends, as Bose is in Dorit's asshole as well, and still going on about how Garcelle.
It's just crazy. There are repercussions. I can't believe she said that. There's repercussions.
Because you know, Bose must think she is like Housewives HR or something. Like, girl, this
so
is
my thing is, Bose, you've watched the show, so you knew that was already talked about, but you didn't have a problem with Garcelle all season. You didn't bring this up to her all season. You waited until a reunion when that orange lady said something. And now you're like, I'm disgusted by that. I've been disgusted by that comment. Okay, girl. All right. Sure.
That's because Uncle Ruckus will do what she do best.
Oh my God. What you call her?
I call her Uncle Ruckus.
I ain't doing it right now. They need to, at this rate, this show, you know, and I don't want to do that because it's like it would be giving them what they want, but I don't really want to see any more black women on this show. I just think it can be a bit triggering seeing them navigate.
And we said that for years.
I think Garcelle was doing great, but now it's like, okay, now she's gone, and the way that they are going to use Bose, and you know what? They could either use her in that way, or they could use it in a way to where they try to do everything opposite of what they did to Garcelle. However, I know these women are pretty trash, so that's not going to happen. So
Well, they tried it already with Anne Marie. They
well,
got
Anne
her here.
Marie,
She was also trash.
Anne Marie had a lot of things going on. She still has things going on. So yeah, in terms of her
more things.
But
if you follow the blogs, more things.
More.
If you notice the black women that they've given full-time spots, and this is nothing against anyone personally, but they have purposely avoided casting African American women. They have casted whatever Bose say she is, because I don't know, and I'm not being disrespectful. Garcelle is a Haitian American, a Haitian woman. Yeah, okay, yes. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I don't know what she is. I just know she looked at a mess. So we're gonna call her a mess American. They cast that messy looking American Bose, and they cast Garcelle, who is a Haitian, which of course we love all women, and then they cast Anne Marie, who is a Canadian black woman.
Ew.
So what I'm saying is they have purposely avoided casting an African American woman who, I think may have been able to navigate these circumstances a little bit more upfrontly and not.
Well, we got Cherie. She didn't.
Well, the one thing about Cherie, she didn't do much, but one ass she was on was Kyle's.
That's true.
That is true.
Not like Kyle. And she didn't like Sutton.
That's true.
Well, you know what? Generally, she did not like Sutton. She did not.
Not like
but if you notice, aside from Anne Marie, none of the black women have really liked Kyle. So there got to be some truth to that too. I mean, I don't really like Bose.
Bose does not like her.
Yeah, Bose don't like her.
She told her sister, "Your sister's cold, a cold bitch, a stone cold lesbo."
And she was like, "I'm not going to argue with you, but okay."
She was just like, "Well, you know what? Your conversation is not memorable. I don't remember Kyle. That just has to hit Kyle. So
I was like, Kyle's going to let her get away with that? I was
yes, because she's a punk.
Because if she stepped in, Dorit's going to say, not my black friend.
Not my token. I'm the only one spinning that.
I'm
the only one spinning this token.
All right, listen, we got some callers in the queue.
My God.
That's a tagline.
What?
I'm the only one spending my tokens.
Okay, Chase. All right. 3 callers in the queue. Make sure you guys hit that like button. We've had over 100 people watching today. Maybe
my God, Sasuke.
So this is probably like one of the better, or not better, probably the most successful episode this whole season. Not saying this because we've had over like 200-300 folks up in here. So I'm just saying. But make sure y'all hit that like button. It's great
to
watch.
Sasuke wrench.
Huh?
Take Sasuke wrench.
What happened? Not my Sasuke, please.
A little triggering, Sasuke. A little triggering. Okay.
Carrot cake. Give me some.
A little too far, baby. A little too far, baby.
All right, listen. Our first caller is actually going to be. I'm gonna let Demetrio on first because he has some low
this last
week. So if it's low budget today, he'll be off real fast. So
you better not embarrass me.
It's not low budget today.
Oh, thank God. Woo.
I don't even know what to even say because I feel like y'all have assessed this whole reunion to.
Well, that means it's gonna be real short. Then go ahead.
Yes, but I am gonna do me and Jamie's favorite thing to do, and that is drag Brooke Logan because Kyle and that ugly dress and that ugly hair had the audacity to get on that stage and call somebody else a mean girl when she is the biggest grade A Regina George that there has ever been in Bravo history. It is like, girl, the hypocrisy is real. And then I'm a drag her for this too, because y'all know I'm the leader of Team Denise. The way that y'all did Denise, and you mad because Garcelle and them doing the same thing to you. Yes, we want to know if you are a lesbian. Ain't that the same thing that y'all did to her for a whole entire season? Want to know if she had an affair on Aaron with Brandy, and now you mad because we're doing the same thing to you, girl?
Is Morgan eating your box?
Thank you.
Hello.
Like, please. And then for Bose to sit up there and willingly admit, that's something I would have never admitted, to watching the show and you still came on this show and aligned yourself with Dorit and her bad spray tan and now the other girls, it's like, yeah, Garcelle said it best. All skin folks ain't your kin folks. Erica, girl, what have you had going on in your entire run of being on Housewives? Tom's scandal was your biggest moment, and you're still talking about that 5 years later. What do you have going on other than sitting in therapy still, again, talking about Tom, redecorating those 2 rooms in that closet that you live in, and a knockoff share career? A wannabe share.
Not share.
Like, girl, who's
How share get in
screwing
it?
Erica Jane? Who are you
Right.
screwing? You having all this sex, but who are you screwing? You want to know who Garcelle's screwing? We want to know who you screwing.
No, we
Like,
No,
don't.
we don't. No,
No,
we
we
don't.
don't.
like Erica,
No, we
save
don't.
it. Like,
We
save
want her
it.
off the
It's just
show.
a mess. But to close out what I'm gonna say, because y'all said what y'all had to say about Sutton, so I don't even gotta drag her. It's just like, girl, for me personally, she only gets a pass with Kyle because she has this desperate need to be her friend, and I really don't know why when Kyle has gave her behind the kiss for years, but she definitely should have tag teamed Erica and Dorit with Garcelle. But what has Sutton ever gave her at the reunion? So are we really surprised? All I got to say is next season we need some new girls, or else I won't be watching. Because if I got to watch another season of Dorit and Paddington Bear getting a divorce and her being broke,
Not
Erica,
Paddington Bear.
Erica and her same nonsense with Tom because she getting sued again, Kyle picking and choosing what she wanna share and what she don't want to share, and Bose being an Uncle Ruckus, like Jay said, they can keep that for
Mm,
real.
mm, mm.
Okay, the BCO. Well, listen. Thank you. That was
Speak your speech.
you speaking. The people in the chat are saying, "Speak your speech to BCO." But thank you for
Bye,
calling in. Okay.
bye,
You didn't
guys.
embarrass me. Thank you.
Bye to BCO.
Oh Lord.
Stop it, Chase. Stop it.
He didn't.
Thank you, Demisio. All right, I'm going to let one. We got over. I'm gonna let Durga in because Durga, Durga has been very verbal about Miss Bowles. You call her Miss. What you call her, Bowles? Same weed or something.
Bundles,
Bundles. That's
John.
it. Bowles say bundles. How you doing today?
I'm well. How are you guys?
Good.
All right, good. So the first thing I'm going to start with Kyle because I don't have very much to say to her other than how are you in these women's faces? Your breath smell like Morgan's box, and Garcelle can't say anything.
What you think it smell like? It probably smell like
Oh,
oil
please don't ask me
cream.
that.
Please.
No.
Let's
like-
not
No.
eat it.
She's a
No.
country
Smell like
singer. It probably smell like
Smell like
pee.
underneath the car.
Swine.
Not earring back. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Durga.
Ooh, no. Ugh.
Hot dog water.
So I want to start with Sutton giving Garcelle that gift because she knew what was coming.
Mm.
Nobody can tell me that Sutton didn't know what Garcelle was walking into. I fully believe.
Don't you do it.
Fully believe that she knew.
Don't you say that.
I do. In terms of Erica, I'm trying to go quick because I know you guys want to get off. In terms of Erica, I want to know what Erica is measuring an interesting life by. Like, that's my question.
Being a criminal.
Well, because like even beyond being a criminal, Erica has hoarded herself out to an old man who probably gave her worms.
That's what?
Oh,
worms.
I'm so glad I
Thank
was
you. Good night, Durga. Thank you. Good
Oh,
night.
my God. Hello.
Don't old man give you worms?
Not worms. Uh-oh. Help him, Lord. So put your hands up, Chase. I think we losing him. We losing him.
my
Lord.
God.
Oh my God. That's
Oh, my
so
God.
gross.
I'm just saying. So like, I mean, but beyond that, you've allowed this man to use your body as an ATM, as a place to do transactions so that you can get money. This is probably your first job that you've ever even got to keep your clothes on. Like, yes, you are more interesting. Forever more interesting. I think as far as Garcelle's comment about the robbery, I actually think Garcelle was trying to put their little insurance scam ring on blast. Because Teddy Mellencamp, there have been all of these robberies have happened on Teddy Mellencamp's husband's securities watch. I think that's who she's talking about, including PK. But I think she's talking about PK. I think she's talking about Teddy. I think she's talking about Mauricio, because all of them are in that.
Well, she lame for that then. If that's what's going on, I don't like that.
Let me. I do. I think
Well,
that's.
Is
I
that
think
what
that's.
it's about?
I think so. I think
Yeah.
so. I think it's
Garcelle,
more
come
than
on,
just
dog.
PK. I think it's more than just PK. All
because
right.
Teddy also got robbed when
Teddy also
their
got robbed.
Kyle's house got robbed, and Teddy's husband put in that damn Blink, Amazon
Mm-hmm.
Blink
And so
security
my thing
cameras that
is,
didn't work.
Pop
if all
Smoke.
those houses got robbed, why would you say, "Oh, do mine next"?
Moves.
Because you're
Like,
trying to get that insurance. That's why you want him to do it next. Because he's got the hookup. He knows who to call.
Allegedly, okay, Robo. Allegedly.
I don't know
Allegedly,
what you're saying.
allegedly,
That's Durga
allegedly,
opinion.
Allegedly.
All of
allegedly.
it's
That's Durga
Sorry,
Bob.
alleged.
all of it's allegedly. Sorry.
I don't know who she is.
And so let's move on over into Bose.
Yes.
This is where I've been wanting to go. I was right.
You was.
She
You've
came
been
for
waiting to say
Garcelle.
that, huh?
I have.
Durga, high
I have.
five.
Okay, I've been waiting. I've been
You
waiting.
never liked her.
Never. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I have people in my family just like Bose. My cousin's father is African, and we're always around that side of the family.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Bose coming from a mile away. Plus the fact that I've been privileged enough to be in spaces where people are kind of 1% in upper echelon. So I've dealt with people in that space. Like I study neuroscience. There are a lot of Boses. There are a lot of Boses. So I knew what I was looking at when I saw her. But I think that she came into the show with an agenda to be Queen Bee.
Okay.
This was a fleeting thought for me, but I was operating under the assumption that she didn't watch the show because I really just didn't
Me
want to
too.
think that she did.
Me too.
Mhm.
So this thought was fleeting and I never really put too much weight into it. But once she said that she watched the show, I feel like this is it. She came onto the show to be Queen Bee. The only way to do that is to get rid of Garcelle, get rid of Sutton, and to get rid of Kyle. That's the fan favorites and production favorite. It's not lost on me that she aligned herself with the people that no one likes. But I feel like she did that in an effort to make herself more likable. But she misread it. So Bose didn't do like the biggest thing that she just should have done, which was her market research. As a marketing like strategist, I would have thought that she would have been able to foresee the love that Garcelle had and maybe not done this, but she didn't. So I don't know where Bose goes from here other than being used by that group.
Mm.
And she better be ready because Kyle's coming for it next year.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
But you know what? I ain't gonna lie to you. It sounds like she ready to come for Kyle. It does. I ain't gonna lie to you. It does.
It sounds like she's ready to come for
like
Kyle, but
ready-
I don't think she's going to be prepared for the way that Erica and Dorit are going to leave her in the dust.
Oh yeah.
Well, excuse me. Are you trying to imply that Erica and Dorita are going to get renewed? Because wait a minute.
All right.
You know what? That's true.
I don't need you speaking that into the atmosphere.
That's true. That's true.
All right, Durga, I got some more callers. I'm gonna let
Yes.
you
Have a good night.
Thank you, Durga.
Bye.
All
Durga,
right,
I'm
I
gonna
next
make me throw up
caller.
tonight. Lord
Let
Jesus.
Brittany on because Brittany, I don't think you. I haven't seen what you called in recently. It's been a while though. I think, but not for this show, right?
Yeah, it's been a while. The last time I called was the RRHOP finale.
That's what I thought. So I was like,
Yeah.
for me to see you in this queue for this show, let me let her on now. What's going on?
Yeah, so well, I agree with most of what everyone said about obviously about Kyle, about Sutton, but and this is probably gonna be an unpopular opinion, I respectfully disagree about Bose. I don't see where the strong she's anti-black or wants to be the only black woman is coming from, to be honest. You know, the person that she's been harshest with is Kyle. It would be different if it was Garcelle. It would be different if she made comments about Garcelle not being a fit or not being on the show. She hasn't done any of that. And she even said on the reunion that the first person she called was Garcelle, and Garcelle told her, well, I want you to form your own opinion when she tried to talk to her about the cast. So I think that there's a difference between wishing that she said more, which I do understand that part, but then going as far as to say that she's like against black people. I think that's a very strong statement to say. And to be clear, you can be anti-black in black spaces. We've seen it on other black shows, RHOP being an example of that. But the comments that she's made is not even the worst things we've seen this week. it's been worse on RHOA right now. It's been worse on Married to Medicine, what those women are doing to each other. So I just don't. I think that there's room to um, criticize Bose without going so far as she wants to be the only black person on the show, and because she didn't say any of that, and she hasn't torn Garcelle down. So I think it is a tricky thing to navigate on this show, which you guys mentioned, being a black person on this show, because it is kind of a little bit damn if you do, damn if you don't. Of course, just me being me, I would love for them to be besties, but at the same time, what are we saying, that all the black people on a show have to be to get, like, I don't know, it just puts them in a very weird position. So I think, just to end off, yes, Bose, the criticism is fair, but to go that far, I think that's a very serious thing to say, especially when Bravo already is dealing with so much issues with their black talent.
Can I ask a question? I understand that just because you're a minority on a white led show, you don't have to be friends. But in the real world, and we can all attest to this, when you enter white spaces, don't you automatically look for familiarity to provide
Right,
some sort of
absolutely.
insular safety in a space like this? So if Bose had watched the show, and I'm not speaking for anybody, but if I was Bose and I had seen the ways these women were moving, I absolutely would have made a much bigger effort to make sure that I had an ally in the other black woman on this cast. I would
Especially,
absolutely have been like, girl, yes, I appreciate you wanting me to form my own opinions, but also, can we make sure that we are good at the end of this? That
especially,
we
Right.
Jamie.
So oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, I just want to say, especially as a mother of a biracial child, as Garcelle is, I think that that is where we draw the line. Where if you've seen it and you saw the reaction, that the action to her child, because make no mistake about it, he at the time was 14, he is now 17. He is still a child, and he is her child. As a black mother, I would have saw that and had pause for concern, as I am going to enter this social circle. And I would also have pause for concern why the one person who has had the most levied criticism regarding race is actively seeking to befriend me. I just think that those are things that do not align with her stance on being for sisterhood and togetherness, and actively undermining Garcelle at every attempt. It is not about the sisters or the sisters automatically being in agreement because they are black. But what it is about is making sure nobody plays them against each other because they are black. And unfortunately, for what we're seeing, most especially at this reunion, when Kyle walks in and Garcelle speaks to her, goes out of her way to speak to her again, barely gets acknowledged, and then goes and makes sure that she speaks to Bose when Dorit says, "Oh, and that's why I chose Bose, because she kept it real all the time." As opposed to Garcelle, who's sitting over across, and they've had that tense history where the question has been asked, or do you only know black and brown people as the help? I think that it does cause for some concern for us to question and wonder why Bose has moved in the way that she has moved. Now, certain people up here have called up here and said they think she wants to box the other black girl out, which is directly hypocritical, if so, because that is what she is actively preaching against. But then when you go on a talk show and you say, you have the girl say, won't he do it? It leads us to believe that because you knew for 2 weeks that the girl had quit, y'all had conversations about it and rejoiced and were glad in it. And so that actively speaks against the sisterhood and the unity that you profess that you are there for, which is why everyone has had to stop and put an eye out and say, wait a minute, this does not align with what you're selling us. And if you're going to sell us something, then it needs to be the product that we bought. And we unfortunately have bought a product that Bose has not sold us.
Right. So, first of all, I agree with the both of you, right?
Yeah,
Obviously, when you are a black woman in a predominantly white space, or a black person or minority in general, you reach for familiarity. But that's what she did when she called Garcelle. It would have been different if Bose came onto the show, never reached out to her. She reached out to her first, right? Garcelle confirmed that, and so did Bose. So, if I'm reaching out to you and I'm trying to have a conversation, Garcelle should have also taken that moment to say, okay, I've been here, right? Let me tell you about my experiences. She didn't do that. She told her, I'm not going to tell you anything. You know, be
But Bo just
open and
watched the
figure it
show.
out for yourself. So I feel like we're putting too much on, well, Bose needs to do this. But Garcelle has been there. She called you. She started the conversation. Garcelle didn't finish it. So, and again, and a couple of comments on a Watch What Happens Live and after show does not take away from the 20 plus years of work that Bose has done before she was ever on the show. I knew who she was before she was on the show, by the way. I knew
Same.
exactly who she was. I knew the
Mhm.
philanthropy that she was a part of.
Same.
A 40-minute Watch What Happens Live with her sitting next to someone else, which would have been
Mhm.
Erica, who was
Yeah.
making her comments. Why is Bose being held responsible for what somebody else says? How many Watch What Happens lives have we seen with these housewives sitting next to each other and one said something to somebody else? Like, again, I think the criticism is fair to say, damn, I wish she said more. But to go as far as to basically say what she's done for 20 plus years and everything she's accomplished, now we're questioning all of that because of
Yeah.
a 40-minute episode when she
Yeah.
never actually tore Garcelle down. And again, we've seen Black women tear each other down on
Yes.
Bravo, on
Mhm.
other shows. That is not what Bose did. It's nowhere near close. And again, Garcelle was not even the harshest person she was on. It was Kyle. And I would even put Sutton before as the second
Okay,
person Bose was harshest on. You know what I
Brittany,
mean?
Brittany, I'm sorry to cut you off. I have to stop this. It's
Oh, no
going
problem.
it's
Yeah.
not true.
Thank you,
It's,
Brittany, for the conversation.
I have
Yes,
to
thank
stop
you
it.
guys too.
We can continue this next week. I'm sure we'll come up, but definitely
Lo,
I'm
we got
here
2
for
more
the
episodes.
conversation, but it may require a lot more time. So thank you, okay, Brittany.
Thank you guys.
All right. I'm sorry to do that, but I have to move forward. And Sir Capricorn, I know you just got in the queue, but I'm not gonna be able to take your call today. We already have gone over,
Oh,
and I still have 2 other callers that were in the queue already. Jamie or Chase, if y'all need to leave, y'all can. I'll stay on so we get the callers on too. But it's up to
why
y'all.
I'm
we
good.
getting fired?
No. I'm saying if y'all
Somebody's
need
getting fired.
because we went over on time, so I want to be.
Yeah.
I'm good right now. Let's finish it up.
Okay. All right, Paula girl, what's going on? What you got for us?
I don't know.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey.
I have to go inside because I was listening to the other callers. By the way, phenomenal chat.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Amazing. So the reason I'm only focusing on those is because there's this misconception that, oh, we're coming after a Black woman, blah, 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 blah. She came after a Black woman. That is the point. She came after Garcelle, who came and literally set the blueprint for how Black women can literally navigate this. I don't even know the word. Like this, it's like a landmine of reality TV.
Mm-hmm.
Ebony K. Williams, super smart, went on New York and got obliterated by these awful people. What are we doing? What is Bose doing? It doesn't make sense for her. It's like, okay, fine, be friends with Dorit. We don't care. Why are you coming after Garcelle of all people? Like, seriously, Garcelle?
No.
I don't get it. I don't get it. Garcelle is the classiest, most graceful human being that has ever existed. I wish in my next life I will be like her.
Right.
No, it's not like
No, I get what you're saying.
seriously.
Yeah, I
She
agree.
is
Yeah.
just, and she I think she freaked them out because they wanted to trigger her and she wouldn't take the bait. And she, especially EJ, Miss Mafia, I'm going to
Ow.
be like a horrible person. She's horrible. EJ has nothing to say. The fact that you say, oh, you're not interesting. Oh, your little house. It's like, what do you own, Missy? What do you own? Garcelle built herself. Like a lot of Black women your moms, your aunts, your
Mm-hmm.
sisters,
Yes.
every one of us. We don't
Mm-hmm.
ask for anything. We just carry on. We don't whine. We don't complain. We just carry on. Look what she did. She's a model at 17, actress, producer, director now,
Come
in
on.
her 50s. Mwah! I salute her.
Yep.
I bow down to her. Erica Jane, get your skinny ass,
Oh.
your Manjaro skinny ass out of here. Do not touch our Garcelle, you stupid, stupid person. Sorry, I'm heated. I've been so it's so infuriating, the
Yeah.
disrespect for this person. If she had a lighter skin, they would have never done this. It's
Ooh.
infuriating.
Yeah.
I'm like, Garcelle, thank you for exiting. Just get out. You
Yeah.
don't need them. Let them go and blow themselves out. We don't care. I'm gonna be watching every movie she makes. Like, I've been following her. This lady is a legend. I'm sorry. I just had to say
Oh,
it.
it's okay. Nothing wrong
Yeah.
with that. Listen. Do
Say,
you have
speaking
anything
of
else
sweet.
you want to add before I let our last caller one? Anything else?
Yeah, I love you guys.
Oh, we thank you, Oliver
Thank
girl.
you.
Yeah, I'm so happy because it's almost like, when you like you're upset, but you want other people to feel like as upset as you are. I'm like,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah.
And I'm upset with you. Trust me, sister.
Oh, thank
Absolutely.
you. I love you guys. You are
Oh my
awesome. I
gosh.
love everybody.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Oliver girl.
Have
Okay.
a
Thank you for calling. All
wonderful
right.
week.
You
You too. You
too.
too.
Oh
You too.
my gosh.
Bye.
I know that's right. Listen, I want somebody to think of me in that way. When
Me
I'm
too.
doing things, because that was if I was Garcelle, I'd be like,
That was inspirational.
it was, it was. And Saz K just mentioned this is the longest live that we've ever done because
How long
by
we been on here?
it's long, it's long, but it's reunion season, and I know
Yeah.
this is
It's
where like
reunion.
the conversation from Brittany could have just been going all day, and I feel like I didn't
Yeah.
want to be, so and we have two more reunions, so I know Brittany always calls it. Brittany's been a part of this platform for a long time, so
Yep.
But you can. It also shows that you can have those type of conversations
yeah,
and it not be in agreement, but it not be ugly. And I think
yeah,
that
it was
is
I thought it
important.
And
was
this isn't an easy topic. There is
it's not.
no cut and
It's not.
dry. It's complicated.
We welcome all opinions.
It's
It
not
can bleed.
complicated for me,
Unless
but
unless you're a Kyle
We should have
fan.
wore our
We don't
shirt.
know Kyle. No Kyle
Listen,
fans.
our shirt say this is my square, and when you up here, it's your square. So when you have a different
it's
opinion,
your square.
we encourage you to call in, even if you feel way different. Then be respectful now, because when you're not
Yes.
respectful, I'm not either. So
Don't be
just
scared.
but our last caller is going to be Lisa, who I know finna probably not be respectful in this plan. Hey, Lisa.
Hey there, y'all. Hey, my
You know,
Hey,
guys.
Monday,
How
hey,
y'all
okay?
guys
Lisa.
doing?
We
Hey,
good.
Let
What you
me
got,
let's get
Lisa?
into it. Let's get into it, baby. I'm gonna tell you like this right here.
Uh-oh.
Now, Miss Garcelle, now you
uh-oh.
don't put your mouth in your ass too many years. I When you first came on the show, I was there for you. I was always there for you. But Jamie, baby, let's clear this up because you know how much I love you. But I'm not disagree with you, brother.
Yes.
Okay, she came on this show because she needed a check. Okay, this show made her even more popular. When she came on the show, she needed a check. Now that big old check, they say Bravo good, pay you good now. That's what I heard. And now see them checks she been getting from Bravo, she been stacking them, and she got her own production company, so she don't need them no more. So she said bye bye. And I said that's good for her because I like her as an actress. But don't be pretending. And also when it comes to Bose and Gospel, and I said this last week, and I also said on my other brother show, a Gore show. That's because we both sisters. We not gonna agree on the same thing. I'm not
Oh
gonna agree
Lord.
with you on everything you do, and that's it. But I didn't see nothing she said about Garcelle. I agree with Brittany. She did not tear Garcelle down. Not at all. She didn't tear Garcelle down. The other women probably did. The other one probably did, and but I'm telling you about Alpha too. Alpha, baby, you cannot talk about no, you cannot talk about nobody being interesting. Okay, you cannot. Okay, I'm a big Elka fan. I'm a big Garcelle fan, but Elka, baby, no, 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 no. You was dead wrong for that, and you so dead wrong for that because even though she is kind of white, they not interested, but you're not interested neither though. You ain't got nothing going on. You know who you mess around with, okay? I'm for real. You don't nobody know who you mess around with, so you're not interested in neither this season. And her and son Garcelle and son both are not interested. They don't show nobody else. Like they talk about other people's lives. They talk about Dorit. They talk about Kyle. They talk about everybody else on the show. So but Elton, you not interested in neither, okay? You're not interested in neither, okay? And like I said, I am proud of both Garcelle and Bose because they are self-made women. They both got beautiful children. You know what I'm saying? So I'm proud of both of them. But like I said, you Garcelle sit there and you sit there for many years and you kept taking up for Sudden. And she didn't even last night. Even on the show, you gave her opportunity time to take up for you. And you see Garcelle said, well, what did you say when Kyle said? She said, well, I don't think she wanna talk about Morgan. She said, nah, that ain't what you said. She said, that ain't what you said. She said, you said you wanna play. She said, that's a chess move she just made. Okay, she didn't never have your back. The one person should have had your back. You've been having her back for so many years. Didn't even have your back, and that's what I'm so mad at Garcia. Because every time they getting sudden ass, man, about the stuff she does, man, Garcia be right there. But God be right there. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I believe she left the show because she seen that dang ain't nobody got my back.
Yep.
Not even one sitting right here ain't got my back. And plus they did say she had a they said she had a problem with abduction earlier before the reunion was started. So that probably makes some sense too. So I'm I'm just tired of this right here. And do we girl, okay. You did make PK look like he's a fool, okay? On that show. You did. You said he wasn't a bad father, you said he was drink. And I'm not gonna go into y'all marriage because that's y'all business. So when people go, I always tell people when you been with somebody more than 10 years, it's hard to let go. And I think she is hurt. I believe she is hurt. But you did come on. So you say he was a drunk. You say he was a bad father. You talked about him like he was low down. You know what I'm saying?
But he don't break in the
So
houses though.
I don't know who broke in the house, but I've been said I did say and Cortez, you can remember I did tell you this. I did say I did believe somebody did break in the house. I did not believe it was a playing Wobby because at the same time, that black man, somebody broke in his house at the same time and they killed his wife. And I forget his name. I mean, he passed away too. He passed away too. I forgot his name. He was around a lot of famous black. He was very famous in the entertainment world though, but he was behind the scenes though.
Okay.
And I remember when they broke in his house at one by the same time they broke in her house, but they killed his wife though.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, this is that same time they broke in the week house. So, and
Okay.
I did hear,
Did they leave
you
the
know what
phone?
I'm saying. So,
Did they leave the phone for them?
huh? I don't
Did
know.
they?
I don't think nobody. If no, you murder somebody, baby. You murder somebody. You take all the evidence with you, taking the phone and everything else with you. Okay. But like I said, I don't know. I mean, even Andy brought that up last night. Andy said, well, they left the phone by the gate, you know what I'm saying? So even Andy brought that up. So, but I do believe everything after that changed. Because when you go to a tragedy like that, somebody break into the house. I don't know who broke in. I don't know if it was a fake or I don't know if it was a fake robbery or whatever. But I
No,
do
they say you
know,
know.
huh?
They say you know.
Well, I got Leslie
If
on
I
the screen,
know,
you
They
know.
say
I don't know because I was not there.
All right,
But
Lisa,
I
we
do.
gotta get out
Hold
of
on.
here. We can't talk about this robbery no
Okay,
more.
this one. Let me say this right here.
Come
I
on.
do believe. I do believe they changed everything for her. I do. That's how I feel. You know what I'm saying? But she can't talk neither. So, but I see y'all later, darling. I see y'all next checks. I see you Monday.
see you
Chase,
Monday.
I see you Monday, darling. And
See you
Jamie, I see
Monday.
you too, baby.
I'll be
Okay.
here.
And I love
Thank you,
y'all.
Lisa.
Oh,
Yeah,
Love
love you
y'all
too.
for. Love y'all three. Bye bye.
love you too.
Love you.
Okay,
I
listen.
want to
Thank
know
you
who
to
she
all of
talking
our,
about.
huh? You said
I
what,
want to know
Jamie?
who she talking about.
I don't know, but I had to put a Leslie on the screen because I wanted to make sure that whatever it was
Was it the
alleged.
same night they murdered somebody? I can't do this. I'm tired and I'm
Listen,
hungry. My
listen.
Wingstop
Thank
about to
you
be
to
here. I
all of
gotta
our
go.
callers. Thank you to Lisa. Thank you to Brittany. Thank you to Durga. Thank you to Demisio and it was and Paula girl for calling in tonight. I'm so sorry to Sir Capricorn. You did join a little late in the queue, but that's okay. If you call in next week, I'll make sure you first. If y'all remind me, we'll make sure you get on first next week. It's been a great show. This could have went on for another hour, not with me here, but it could have went on for another hour because it was some great conversation, you know. And
Cortez,
so,
I
what?
know you. I just want to say one quick thing in regard. No,
Oh,
your baby.
I'm kidding.
Hold
I'm
your
kidding.
breath,
I'm
bitch.
kidding.
Because you better not get
Oh,
to go home. Anyway, now build a bridge and get over it.
go ahead, go ahead,
In
go ahead.
regards to Bose on Watch What Happens Live, I also want to point out that another reason why we side-eyed her because of her appearance on there is because you're right. She did not say anything, and she allowed Erica to sit up there and tear down another black woman about her accomplishments when she is mad at Garcelle for allowing Sutton to say that she was angry or aggressive or whatever the word was that Sutton called her on the after show. So, these are the reasons why she deserves the side eye that she's getting from Jamie. I'm not side eyeing her. I don't fuck with her. Go ahead.
Oh, I was like,
Well,
wait, not I'm the
you
only
know,
one.
I haven't watched. I mean, I watched the after show and watched Happy Live like sporadically, so I've seen a few things. And I mean, honestly, like I don't think anybody was coming for her accomplishments. You know, some people have said. I mean, in the comments, I saw that she's only been with these companies for like a year or two, and that could be a bad look in a certain way. Personally, my theory on that is opposite because in my industry specifically, you know, we don't stay at companies that long. You find the next
Yeah.
day, you gone. But especially in this climate, so I'm not really coming for her accolades. Honestly, I don't really care about that. I'm talking about what's on the show, you know, because that's just like Wendy going around my 4 degrees, and y'all didn't like that. So it's just like it's just one of
Oh,
those things where we're talking about what she's presenting on the show and what we have on the show about Bose and these interviews. You know,
It's a mess.
it could look both ways. I can see both ways, but we'll continue this conversation. I'm sure we'll bring up Bose again. I'm sure they're gonna talk
Ugh.
about her being in Doree's booty crack next week and the week after that too. So we have two
Jesus.
more reunions. I encourage you guys to come back next week and the following week for all. I think we had a lot of new viewers in here tonight. So kudos and shout out to us and shout out to y'all for being here. Okay, we're here every Wednesday. Not every Wednesday. We'll be here for the next 2 Wednesdays until the show ends. And then
Oh,
that'll
then
conclude.
never again.
Yeah. It's crazy,
And
y'all. It's crazy. But
crazy.
subscribe to the channel and you'll know what shows we do. We do other shows. If you're watching Atlanta, which is something that we decided to not do, no Chaser TV, aka Chasing, right here.
Hi.
Is reviewing it, and you can find him, his own panelists, and some of our own very much so panelists over there as well. So check in, tune in, like, subscribe our videos. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Chase. Thank you to everyone in the chat, specifically our mods and everyone that called in and watched the show tonight. Okay, thank y'all and have a good night. I'm gonna go out like.
I wish I had handled it better.
Yeah. Good night, y'all.